George Peppard was born on October 1st, 1928, in Detroit, Michigan. He came from a working-class household that prized grit and self-reliance. His father, George Peppard Sr., was a building contractor. His mother, Vernell Rohrer, had trained for opera, an early brush with the performing arts that quietly shaped his future. From childhood, he blended a sharp mind with a creative streak. That mix carried him to Purdue University and then to the Carnegie Institute of Technology, now Carnegie Mellon University, where he studied drama and began turning raw talent into professional skill. Peppard's first serious work happened on stage, where discipline and presence made him hard to ignore. By the late 1950s, he was moving into films with a fresh, understated style that distinguished him from other leading men. In Home from the Hill, 1960, he showed a striking emotional intensity. Critics took notice. Over the next few years, he proved he could toggle between sensitive romantic leads and cool, hard-edged characters. Then came the role most people remember first, opposite Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961. As struggling writer Paul Varjak, Peppard became part of movie history, elegant, restrained, and quietly magnetic. The 1960s kept him busy across genres. In the World War I drama, The Blue Max, 1966, he played a daring German fighter pilot, lending humanity to a character who could have been merely cold. War pictures, thrillers, romances, and westerns followed. Good looks and a taut, no-nonsense style let him carry films with equal parts credibility and charisma. The 1970s were rougher. Hollywood tastes shifted, and the roles thinned. Peppard adapted, working more in television, staying visible, and waiting for the next true break. That break roared in with the A-Team, 1983 to 1987. As Colonel John Hannibal Smith, Peppard became the cigar-chomping master of disguises and battlefield strategy, leading a crew of mercenaries with a wink and a plan. The catchphrase, "I love it when a plan comes together," became one of TV's most quoted lines and introduced him to a new generation. Peppard's personal life was as dramatic as his screen roles. He married 5 times. Helen Davies, 1954, 1964, his first wife, during the grind of early career years. They had 2 children, Bradford and Julie. Elizabeth Ashley, 1966, 1972, a gifted stage and screen star in her own right. Their passionate, high-profile marriage produced a son, Christian Peppard, before ending after 6 years. Sherry Boucher, 1975-1979, often misreported. She also appeared in Walking Tall. A shorter union during a transitional career period. Alexis Adams, 1984-1986, brief, intense, and soon over. Laura Taylor, 1992-1994. His final marriage ending only with his death. Whatever the turmoil in love, fatherhood grounded him. Peppard spoke often of Bradford, Julie, and Christian as his greatest pride, a lasting legacy beyond marquee lights. He also fought, and later conquered, alcoholism, a battle that demanded the same stubborn will he brought to his career. Peppard could be blunt, competitive, and famously exacting on set. He clashed at times with producers, directors, even co-stars on the A-Team, including Mr. T, yet he usually gave credit where it was due. There was one exception he never forgave, Buddy Ebsen. Beloved as Jed Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies throughout the 1960s, represented a style of folksy, broad television that Peppard simply could not stand. Their careers overlapped as TV exploded and audiences fragmented. Peppard, forged in theater and serious cinema, Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961 among them, felt Ebsen's homespun persona was showbiz pandering. Peppard didn't hide it. He said flatly that he'd never liked that man. Not one bit. He mocked what he called Ebsen's fake hillbilly charm, insisting it wasn't acting, but manipulation. Personality only deepened the fracture. Peppard was proud, exacting, and allergic to pretense. Ebsen, genial in public, could be firm and opinionated in private. In Peppard's telling, Ebsen played the industry's wise elder, while, as George put it, cutting your throat when you weren't looking. Whether fueled by rumor, competing offers, or plain oil and water temperaments, Peppard's disdain never softened. He could respect an honest fight on a set, he said. But he labeled Ebsen phony, and by Peppard's own admission, the one colleague he hated more than anyone. For his part, Ebsen rarely engaged publicly. He let his long career do the talking. The one-sided rancor, however, reveals something essential about Peppard. Authenticity to him was sacred. Anyone who failed that test landed on the wrong side of his line permanently. Peppard's last decade mixed setbacks with resolve. Typecasting after 1987 was real, so were personal struggles. But he sobered up, steadied himself, and worked to spark a late-career resurgence. Years of heavy smoking, though, had taken their toll. He developed lung cancer, and although he pursued treatment, his immune defenses were weakened. On May 8, 1994, in Los Angeles, complications set in. Pneumonia became the final illness. He was 65. The news hit hard. Obituaries revisited the graceful cool of Paul Varjak opposite Audrey Hepburn in 1961, the swagger of Hannibal Smith in the 1980s, and the earlier intensity of Home from the Hill, 1960, and The Blue Max, 1966. Colleagues and fans mourned a complicated man, handsome, stubborn, disciplined, sometimes combative, always driven. His death also underscored how smoking-related disease had claimed a generation of actors. George Peppard's legacy is a study in contrasts, movie star polish and stage-trained rigor, TV icon and theater purist, charming lead and uncompromising professional. He valued craft, despised phoniness, loved his children, and never hid his opinions, especially about Buddy Ebsen. Watch him in 1961, gliding through breakfast at Tiffany's. Then jump to the clipped bite of the A-Team, 1983 to 1987. You'll see the same spine, a performer who believed in control, clarity, and purpose. Plans didn't always come together in his life, but when they did, he made it look easy and unforgettable.